Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, ladies and gentlemen. Let's continue our electric car design tutorials. The previous video we talked about the design of the brake system. In this video, we're gonna talk about the shock absorber. So let's get started. Shock absorber, in their simplest form, shock absorbers are hydraulic oil pump-like devices that help to control the impact and rebound movement of your vehicle springs and suspension. Along with smoothing out bumps and vibrations, the key role of the shock absorber is to ensure that the vehicle's tires remain in contact with the road surface at all times, which ensures the safest control and braking response from your car. So what do shock absorbers do? Essentially, shock absorbers do two things. Apart from controlling the movement of springs and suspension, shock absorbers also keep your tires in contact with the ground at all times. At rest or in motion, the bottom surface of your tires is the only part of your vehicle in contact with the road. Anytime that the tire's contact with the ground is broken or reduced, your ability to drive, steer, and brake is severely compromised. Despite popular belief, shock absorbers do not support the weight of a vehicle. Firstly, shock absorbers work by taking the kinetic energy from the movement of your suspension and converting it into to thermal energy, it's heat. Then this heat is dissipated into the atmosphere through the mechanism of heat exchange. As mentioned, shock absorbers are basically oil pumps. A piston is attached to the end of a piston rod and works against hydraulic fluid in the pressure tube. We have here a shock absorber, the real prototype to the left. As you can see, this is a real prototype. You can find it through Google search, and for sale, by the way. We have here this spring, and we have here tubes, and we have here for the bushings and this kind of stuff to connect them, to connect this piece to the control arms. Okay. Also, we have here the CAD model. We're gonna find it out in this next couple of minutes. You can find it on GrabCAD. Okay, this is the link or from Amazon to find this. As the suspension travels up and down, the hydraulic fluid is forced through orifices, tiny holes inside the piston. So because the orifices only allow a small amount of fluid through the piston is slowed, which in turn slows down spring and suspension movement. Shock absorbers automatically adjust to road conditions because the faster the suspension moves, the more resistance they provide. So the faster the suspension moves, the more resistance they provide. We can see here one of the types of the shock absorbers. You can find it out by yourself. You can. Was taken from a video. You can please check it out by yourself. You'll find that here is the tube and the piston, and here a piston rod, and you will find that this is now it is when this is at a short, this is the first stroke, and you can see here another look. So this is the first stroke, and then this will expand like this to convert the kinetic energy from the suspension to thermal energy. So also we have here a rebound valve. You will find the details about this in the videos and on the websites. You will have to take a look or take a closer look to know the details of the design and how you design these things. And here is the compression valve. And also there is a very interesting video, I guess it was about Audi, about the choke dampers or something like that. Yeah, let's see it. Choke dampers. dampers. Please just wait a minute. Yeah, active damper system. It's a very interesting video. Yes, this is the video. Please take a look and you will see that there is a liquid and the magnetic field plays a good role. It changes the viscosity, I think, or this becomes thicker and then becomes smoother. Okay, decreasing the magnetism. So types of shock absorbers we have here. Though shock absorbers do the same job, different types of vehicles and suspension designs require different types of shock absorbers which can appear radically different. No matter the application, all shock absorbers fit into one of three broadly defined types: conventional telescopic shock absorbers, struts, or spring seat shocks. For the conventional telescopic shock absorbers, this is the simplest type of shock absorber and is generally replaced rather than repaired. This type of shock absorber can be found on both front and rear suspension systems and is relatively inexpensive. For the strut type, although they do the same basic job, struts replace part of the suspension system and must be more rigidly built to cope with greater loads and forces. So they're most commonly seen on the front and rear of small to medium cars. Larger cars are now tending towards strut-based suspension design. The strut category is further divided into sealed and repairable units. So as the name suggests, sealed units are designed to be fully replaced, whilst repairable McPherson struts are able to be fitted with replacement strut cartridges. You will know these things when you know the suspension types from the box, and these details will be available. And here are the spring seat shocks. So the the spring seat type shows characteristics of both telescopic and strut type shock absorbers. Like struts, a spring seat shock is a suspension unit and damping device in a single unit. Unlike struts, however, they are not designed to be subject to high side loads. So this is the main difference. Built using similar components to conventional shock absorbers, spring seat shocks are also sealed, requiring full replacement. And here is the reference of this. And we can see here the shock absorbers in detailed. Here piston valve and working cylinder, and here base valve, piston rod seal, piston rod guide and compensation chamber, piston rod protective tube, container tube, and many things. Actually, it is not a simple design, by the way. You have to know how to design each piece of this. You can get from GraphCAD website many CAD models to learn by yourself. Compression cycle, and is the extension cycle, and this is to convert the kinetic energy of the suspension to thermal energy. Before inventing the shock absorbers, you can take a look at Federung. It's a very interesting in KFC. Yes, Federung in KFC. It's a very good video. It's in German, by the way. By the way, you have to know how to speak German and understand German because it will be very helpful for you to understand this kind of videos. Also, you can use the subtitles on YouTube to know each word and translate it by yourself, and also you can translate it automatically using the subtitles. So please watch this video. It will show you before and after inventing the suspension, the shock absorber, I'm sorry, for using the shock absorber. So now it's the time of showing here the CAD model. from the grab CAD. So this is the basic design. As you can see here is shock strut. Let's see the shock absorbers. With the coil spring, by the way, as you can see here, this is the shock absorber. It works with this spring. That's why this is the series suspension shock absorber and also coil spring. Yeah, so this is the coil spring shock absorber. Yes, so this is a shock absorber using a spring, by the way. And also you can check out this guy. He's very helpful. Coilovers explained you can use the shock absorber plus this coil. Why? To enhance the efficiency of converting the kinetic energy to the thermal energy. Also, so this is coilover choke component for scale cars. So here is the only choke absorber, but here is the choke absorber plus the coil. And here is the camel, yes. So here is the choke strut, and here is the coil or the spring, and here is the other pieces. So here is the work or the main components of it. As you can see, of course, this is a very simple design, and you can get many. So the diagram of the main components of the twin tube and monotube choke absorber, you can get these things. So here is the twin tube gas bag, and here is the oil, and here is the only monotube. Okay. So as you can see here, also let's take a look on different things. Here's choke absorber and coil spring, and shock absorber and the suspension system. So as you can see, this is connected to this part. Okay, you can see here Mercedes. Active body control, just to avoid the copyright problems. I'm gonna show you here is, so Mercedes invented something that's very unique. This is the control or the choke absorber. This is the regular choke absorber with the coil. Okay, and here is the active body control of Mercedes. You can check it out in details. They use a different design. This is not like this, so really it reaches or let you feel more comfortable than this system, because it is used with the controllers and we have here a fluid, like I said. So as you can see, this chassis will, you will find it move up and down, up and down, up and down. If you drive on an uneven road, but this chassis will be stable and only the tires will move up and down. Okay, why? Because this is due to the unique design of the shock absorber. Okay, let's see Audi. There are many different yes. This is Audi. Controller left and power electronics, front axle, for right, front camera. They're very cool. By the way, Audi's design, induction, cornering, yes. Notice here is the trick. The tires were only are the only parts that will move up and down, not the entire chassis. Using this unique design of the shock absorbers, not like the common or like this simple model. So please be careful. You have to take a look on the new designs. And here is the Mercedes. And here is BMW or BMW, Speicherische Motoren Werke. Okay. Damper system. So as you can see, this is connected to this link, and also we can here see a different design, while the trick also comes or lies here in this fluid and the magnetic field. You can make it like this, so like this. Here the spring and the trick is inside this tube. No problem to design it like this, but you have to take a look so know what's going on here. So this is the trick or the difference between a company to a company. Okay, so again, so here is the design, the full design of the suspension system. Now you can take a closer look on it. As you can see, it is connected to the lower control arm and here to the chassis. Okay, so when the tire moves up and down, the control arm moves up and down, and the kinetic energy is transferred to the shock absorber and the coil spring. Okay, and then it works as a vibrations damper. Okay, and the chassis will not get the motions or the movements that will let you feel uncomfortable. Okay, so here you can see the tire and the rim and the knuckle. Remember the knuckle and the control arm, upper control arm and lower control arm. And here is the shock absorber, is one of the masterpieces and if you work hard on designing it, your design will be unique, like Audi, Mercedes, and BMW or BMW. It's a very critical part. You must take care of it. So here is the chassis, and here is the an end of, or yeah, an edge of the shock absorber. So this is the shock body cartridge. So this is the choke cartridge, and here is the other end. Okay, so it's very simple. Now, gentlemen, we have the full suspension system. So the next video we're gonna talk about the tires and maybe the rim, or may make them make a video about the tires and then make another video about the rim, because they are also very important. They are very important. So to this moment we covered many useful things. Yes, control arms, steering knuckle, ball joint, shock absorber, brake system, and the spindle. We did not talk about the spindle, but it is the spindle. You can please check it out by yourself. Spindle is a piece. Yeah, we talked about the spindle. Covered the spindle, I guess. Steering knuckle, ball joint, and here is shock absorber and the brake system, and here is the spindle. Yeah, we covered all these kind of things. Yeah, we covered it. And here is the shock absorber. So the next videos we're gonna cover the tire or the rim. I will see. By the way, this is the connection between the power steering system to the knuckle. Okay, we'll find here power steering system. Yeah, here is the power steering system. You see this point or this pin, it is this why to connect the knuckle to this system. Then you will be able to turn left or turn right. So this is the connection between the knuckle and this system. You have to know how to put these pieces together. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I guess we covered many good things, and please, you have to cover many points by yourself about the shock absorbers and their types and which is the design that's suitable for your car. This is pretty important. Okay, thank you very much. See you in the next video. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.